Welcome back to Sims Complete. I'm your host, Matt Sims, alongside Phil Sims. We're going to get into Wildcard Weekend, man, here on the Believe Sports Network. We're brought to you by FanDuel. We're going to give you all the latest odds and spreads for this weekend's matchups. We're going to start with the Saturday games, big guy. This Saturday, all right, here we go. We got the Rams and Panthers matchup, 4:30, Fox. As you see there on the bottom part of your screen, the Rams are 10.5-point favorites.
Wow.
Despite losing to this exact same team on the road just a few weeks prior to this. So 10.5-point favorites in this one. The over-under is 46.5, according to FanDuel Sportsbook. Big guy, where do we start with this Rams-Panthers game? The Panthers, an 8-9 football team. One of those teams, again, that's sub 500 that makes the playoffs. It does seem like that list of sub 500 teams that makes the playoffs, a lot of them seem to come from the NFC South, funny enough. But your first thoughts when you look at this matchup and this rematch from earlier in the year?
Well, I did watch the first game. I watched it pretty close. Over 700 yards of offense by the teams put together.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin.
Bryce played great. Bryce played one of his cleaner games of the year. I want to say that, not that you care, but he had a good passer rating. No, I'm just kidding. But he did have 3 touchdowns and was pretty efficient through there. I want to say he threw for about 230-something yards in that first matchup. So that he played pretty dang good. Yeah,
he was 15 to 20, 206, and 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
I thought he played really well, too. You know, he's very good at managing the pocket, moving around. And I think I don't mean this as a bad or not. I think he watches the rush and tries to see the coverage. He tries to do it all at the same time. Because when you watch him play, and I've watched many of their games this year pretty close, he doesn't take many big hits. And that's because he's kind of focused a little on it, but he still seems to find a way to get the football down the field to make plays. I thought the Rams here late in the year, I mean, come on, Matt. You know, it's not been good. You know, the offense I would say this, my friend, I'm going to give this to you.
Okay.
I think they need to be much more aggressive on the defensive side.
Yeah.
You know, the NFL with good quarterbacks and good systems, if you're playing zones all the time, I mean, hell, they're going to pick you apart. It's just too easy. So that's one thing. It was raining in the game. Didn't turn out to be a big deal for either team. 35 rushes for 141 yards by Hubbard and Dowdle.
Right.
So that's a big deal to me. Derek Brown made the strip sack touchdown or whatever, or the strip sack to end the game. So he's always a force to look at.
Mike Jackson with the pick 6 there on the outside, right? And that's another thing too about this Carolina Panthers team. Like, you know, of course, it's always about Bryce and Coach Canales and all of that, but the defense, man, like you mentioned, with Brown, with Jackson, with Horn on the outside, the safety group, very talented. This is a very good defensive unit that can definitely make some big-time plays.
Yeah, the quarterback for the Rams, though, he can really make big-time plays too. We know that. And I'll tell you what, I had to kind of run it back a couple of times, I guess, yesterday, the day before. Davante Adams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know if everybody knows, he's really good.
He is very good, yeah.
God damn. I mean, what a target. Yeah. He runs his routes so precise.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and when you throw it, you go, oh, gosh, he caught it. He's one of those guys.
Right.
And, he's just a big receiver that runs really good routes, has great experience, and had success whenever he's on the field. I think that's a really big deal there. And Puka Nacua. So that tandem alone is just enough to make you think that the Rams, that could give them an edge. But I think this game's going to be really close. I would not I'm so surprised that Carolina won the game. I think Carolina's going to play this really close and have a chance late to win.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, too, on Shula and his defense. I think that they're a little too vanilla. I feel like I've been saying this for the past, 10 weeks of the season of, they got a lot of the Johnnies and the Joes. I just don't always believe in the X's and O's that they're doing, and think that it's just too standard for really good NFL quarterbacks.
Yes.
And the way that some of these guys have played against them of late, even Jacoby Brissett in the last game of the year, 22 of 31 for 243, 2 touchdowns and interception. So that's concerning for me. And if they can't get any sort of pass rush, that's going to be an issue. I do believe that they will. Now, the one thing about the Panthers that's interesting too in this matchup, I feel like as the season has progressed, they have lost a little bit of their patience to just continue to run the football. And
good point.
Tampa Bay, it's raining. It's a torrential downpour, and yet we only run the football 14 times. I don't know. That didn't make much sense to me at all. It's not like Tampa Bay was running it very effectively. Well, actually, they did finish with 140 yards in this game, but they had over 40 rush attempts in that matchup. Carolina had 14. That's just not enough. I don't think that matches what they're really built to do. And I don't want to see Bryce Young have to throw it 40 times for them to win this football game. I feel like it is that like mid-20s, maybe 30, but it's got to be a almost split 50-50 with the run pass combination, I think, for the Panthers to manage the game, limit possessions, and hopefully force a turnover like they did the first time that they played.
What I learned in the NFL and being taught this way, and
Yeah.
I sometimes would second guess the coach, but then I'd go, damn, he's always right. If we played, let's say the Washington Redskins at the time, if we ran the ball on them and won the game because we just ran the hell out of it, we wouldn't even try to have a great game plan or think about running it the next time.
Right.
We're going to throw it. So it kind of reminds me of this game. You're going to watch the film. What did you do this time? And how are you going to change it to make it better and different? Because the other team is preparing for everything you did against them.
Right.
So, that comes out. The other thing that I kind of noticed when I was watching the Rams offense is Stafford is great at the little play action where he rolls to the other side in the boots and can buy time, throw on the run or pull up or whatever.
Yeah.
The first thought that came to it was Sean McVay with Jared Goff. That's what it was. And they're really, really good at it. So, I know I keep looking at my notes because we got all these games. And I can't remember everything, but I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. We got a quarterback in Matt Stafford throwing it as well as he ever has. Maybe played a little tighter and not, every little window you see, you don't have to take them all. So, okay. So that's just, there's a lot of things that just line up to make me think this is really going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun matchup. I agree with that. I think the spread is pretty wild, but hey, that is what it is.
Well, the public determines it,
Yeah, that's true too, right? That's true too.
So that's what the public thinks.
Matt Stafford, of course. Listen, he's the man. We think highly of him, of course. Little comparison here between the two first overall picks from 2009 to 2023. Passing yards, 64,000 in Matt Stafford's favor compared to Bryce Young's 8,000. So he's off to a good start with 8,000. Pass TDs, 423 compared to Bryce's 49. All right, good start. Playoff wins, 5-0. And for Stafford, everyone kind of think, only 5 playoff wins and all that. Well, hey, it was a struggle for him in Detroit. It wasn't always the easiest. But here he is in his playoff career. Matthew Stafford by playoff career games with the Lions, he was 0-3. With the Rams, he's 5-2. So that is his career wins with 5, all coming with the Rams. And he has 3 losses with the Lions when he was there as their quarterback. And the other thing too, just kind of note as well, is just Stafford's one of the few guys too to have more than 40 plus touchdowns in a season and not have any MVPs to go with it. So, hey, just a little fun thing to get to say, but
that's good.
Either way,
maybe we could start talking about this year here in the playoffs. Whatever. I'm not going to say that's being a smarty, but the MVP vote, which I've said to you and I say all the time, and the Heisman, can we have a rule that you can't talk about it until a certain time? I mean, they started talking about the Heisman after 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, how about we actually give an award that symbolizes who the best player of the league was when the league is actually finished? That's the thing. I don't know why, for the Heisman, it's like, I don't know if we know this, but there's 2 other games to be played that are pretty important, right? That could change how we view certain players. Same thing for the NFL as well. I always find it interesting that we named the MVP like 2 nights before the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like I'm supposed to care. And so I don't know. It's just part of the game. It's a little silly.
I understand. Hey,
and also too, there's only 2 people in the MVP race. It's Matt Stafford and it's Myles Garrett. Okay, that's it. That's
Okay.
it. It's just those two. I don't want to hear anyone else's name. Yeah.
I hate to say it, Matt Stafford. I mean, he's the talk of every game, and he determines so many things. But I guess deep down, I'd like to see Myles Garrett win it.
Yeah.
For a defensive player, set a record. I mean, man, that's some big stuff.
As much as I love Josh Allen, I would have loved to have seen Saquon Barkley win it last year. Because again, it's just we're going to go through these years, and I looked at the list too. Aaron Rodgers has 5 MVPs. All right, great. I forgot about him, but it's just like for Saquon, they're doing generational things that no one has ever done before at their unique positions. And I feel like they get so overlooked because it's not the quarterback position. All right, we digress.
Yep, that's all right.
Packers Bears, next matchup. Here we go. Packers Bears, 8 p.m.
Wow.
In Chicago. All right, how you doing? The Green Bay Packers basically limping into the playoffs, 9-7-1. The Chicago Bears, also kind of hobbling into the playoffs at 11-6. The Packers, as you see there in the bottom part of our screen, are 1.5-point favorites over the Bears. The over-under is set to 45.5, according to FanDuel Sportsbook. Big guy, what do we got to keep an eye on for this Packers-Bears matchup?
Man, I don't even know where to start. The Packers, I would say this to you. What is the strength of the team? What are we counting on?
It was defense, and that has changed over the past.
It's changed. It's amazing. Yeah. There you go. You think, yeah. So we've seen that. And then I look at their offense and going against the Bears, I just kind of think of it this way. I think they'll have a hard time running the football against the Bears. So now they got to throw it. And when I see the Packers and their passing game, I never go, wow, that is a great passing game. I love what they're doing here and there. I don't see that. It seems to be, it's a big shot down the field. I think that's their biggest weapon, and it makes you back up some because Jordan Love loves nothing more than falling back and throwing a big arching ball deep down the field, which, is a 50-50 catch or not. So that's kind of the first thing. And, to the Bears, a little slow down there at the end of the year, but I'm just going into the fact it's going to be in Chicago. It's going to be loud as hell. It's, the emotion, you can't emotionally be into every single game.
Yeah.
There's highs and lows with emotions with teams. The Bears went through it where it was just great. They got settled down a little. Detroit showed them some things they were not good at or whatever. So I expect the Bears to be emotional. And I think Caleb Williams will be on his game. And before I get going, I am so sick of hearing about, we got to fix that completion percentage.
Right.
Well, what the hell does that got to do with anything?
Right.
His completion percentage is not what everybody wants it to be because he doesn't take the sack. He throws it away. Like some quarterbacks who just take the sack and go, I didn't want to throw it away because it
was their fault. Yeah.
Yeah. It's my completion.
Well, you're right, though. He's not a stat watcher in his career. And don't worry, Caleb will eventually one day, when he's making $350 million and all that. So he will. They all do that eventually at some point in the game. But yeah, he's at that point in his career. You know what it is, too? It just, no matter what Caleb Williams does, it's just never enough. And honestly, some people just don't like him.
Well, you're right. He is in that category that, yes.
He's just not one of those guys, right? Where everyone, I'm not sure what it is, but they're 11-6. They're going to the playoffs, and hey, kiss Ben Johnson's rear end, all you haters, because he was able to do it in 1 year after everyone was ready. Hey, is Caleb? Oh, they're going to ruin Caleb Williams' career. Well, yeah, here we are. We're going to the playoffs, baby. And the Packers, a 4-game losing streak going into the playoffs. Man, don't feel confident about it right now. This is always a close game. Both times that they played is essentially a one-score game difference. The Chicago Bears played really well in San Francisco. Defense got exposed because that's what San Francisco does if you can't really get after the passer consistently. Right. For Detroit, that was just like an old school division matchup. I mean, against two head coaches that know each other really well and are starting to develop a little bit of a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, they got that going. Yes.
There's no doubt about it. You could just see it, just like it's going to get personal real quick between those two. But yeah, I'm with you. I think with just the Bears, their team, the safer pick is the Chicago Bears at home with their ability to potentially run the football. I expect them to run better than they did against the Lions. And I do think that they're a skill group. I just trusted a little bit more the whole picture of it. And with the Green Bay Packers not really having their guys all together, won't be shocked if they're maybe a little rusty or slow to start in this matchup too.
Yeah, when I look at the Chicago Bears too, you look at them on defense, what is their strength? And, there's nothing you look at and go, wow, this could be the difference in the game for me.
Just the turnovers, right? That's the biggest thing for the Bears defense.
Yeah, and then, and on the offensive side, just for the Packers, I don't know what you look at and say, let's do this.
Yeah.
That's going to be the difference in the game. I'm not crazy about their passing game. I'm not even crazy about maybe some of the designs that they try to work. So I think the Packers, this will be a game where being in Chicago, all that's kind of the emotions, the crowd noise and all that, this is the game where they got to be patient and run the football.
Right.
And that's one thing you can do against the Bears. You can run the football. So if you run it, as we know, and it's not a cliche, but sooner or later that defense got to have to gang up a little, and that's when Jordan Love becomes a hero.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. You're right. I forgot what you said. I think Green Bay is a 1.5 point favorite. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, there it is on the screen. God damn.
Yeah.
All you got to do is look. So that's just some of my thoughts. It's amazing. They're probably studying each other this week going, oh my gosh, it seems like they play each other every week. What is this, 3 times in how many weeks?
So this will be the 3rd time in 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awful. And you know what?
That's a lot. Yeah.
It's awful for the offense.
Yeah.
And, I had a couple instances.
And their starting quarterback, Jordan Love, hasn't played since Denver 4 weeks ago. So, it's hard for me to think that just, hey, playoff football, go out there and we'll see how it goes, I don't know. It's just the best player for the Green Bay Packers the past few weeks has been Malik Willis, and he didn't even play last week. So that's what's, interesting about this team and their dynamic and Hafley's defense has totally changed as the weeks progressed, right? Without Micah Parsons.
Right. Well, yeah, look, when you're missing one of the best defensive players in the league, you got to make some adjustments. So he's doing that. So this will be, I guess Jordan Love has been in playoff games, and playoff games definitely have a different energy to them.
Right.
You see it with reporters, more and more people around you during the week, and you'll feel the electricity or the emotion in the stadium more than ever. And this will be Caleb Williams. He's going to find out it's pretty real.
Yeah.
And how can he handle that? Can he get into the game in the flow right away?
Right.
It's not that Chicago's great at that, but I would think Ben Johnson's going to come up with a few plays to start to get his quarterback feeling well and confident about what's the outcome of the game. So,
all right, great. Well,
right.
Yeah, who are you picking? We didn't even pick the Rams Panthers game, but actually we did. We're both picking the Rams, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams. Yes.
Oh yeah, we both got the Rams. All right, now with Bears Packers, who you got, big guy?
Man, I got pages here of it, and I never wrote down who I like because I don't know
pages of it. What do you mean? Who do you like?
I know I'm talking to myself to get it. I'm going to take the Bears.
Okay, I'm taking the Bears too. I'm taking and this is one like Rams. Like you mentioned earlier, I could see the Panthers beating them. I could see how they can come up with that victory. Same thing for the Packers. I can see how they find their way to success. Rams, I do believe they can win a Super Bowl. Packers, Bears, I think both of them can enjoy this wild card victory. I don't know how deep the run will be or how much I can believe in them to be Super Bowl champions, like I did at least with the Packers a few weeks ago. But I'm taking the Bears as well. All right, so we both agree. And now we're going to kind of change pace a little bit. We're going to skip over one of the Sunday games and go to the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles matchup that takes place on Sunday, 4:30 on Fox. The Eagles are 4.5 point favorites over the 49ers at home. The over-under on this game is 44.5, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, who is the sponsor of our show here on the Believe Sports Network. Man, last week, Niners, Seahawks really left that game super concerned. I also picked the 49ers in that football game, and as that game started, about 3 plays into it, I was like, What the hell was I thinking? That was stupid. So I just went against everything that I ever believed in football. And meanwhile, it's like all I kept saying for the past 5 weeks, like, oh, the Seahawks defense is great. It's great. It's great. They got players here. Okay. And then I'm like, yeah, I'll pick the Niners. Right. What a silly decision that was.
Well,
but either way.
come on, people, Kyle Shanahan enough. And
I put too much faith in one guy, and didn't actually look at the other team's just really good. So Norny, the 49ers, any chance that they can beat the Eagles in Philadelphia? What do you think, big guy?
I feel really, really confident Philadelphia is going to win this game.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
I mean, come on, let's just go over it. The 49ers is Trent Williams going to play? I didn't look at the injury reports. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that he's going to make a go, right, at playing. So he's there, right? Kittle will be ready to go as well. Yep.
That means nothing to me really when I'm thinking about the outcome of the game.
Okay.
Because you start looking just at the defense of the Eagles, and the Eagles went ups and downs all year long, but it doesn't matter because now, when you walk in the building on playoff week, it's different. You practice different. We're going to see the Eagles, who they truly are, I think, this weekend. And that is a defensive front. Oh my, when you look at their Jalen Carter, Jalen Phillips, Jordan Davis, they got linebackers. They got a good secondary. Come on.
Yeah. Jalen Hunt's another guy who gets a little overlooked with their defense. Reed Blankenship, at safeties, a very underrated football player who, of course, was a part of the Super Bowl team and just a very veteran football player in the back end there with Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, they got Cooper DeJean. And they got Nakobe Dean. I mean, man, this team is and the 49ers beat up, playing a lot of guys, that hell, I don't even know the names of some of them when I was trying to study them against these teams. So to me, Matt, this is Philadelphia, but it's really Seattle. And that's what the 49ers are going to be faced with. A big, powerful, fast football team. Mm. And we don't even we talk so much about the offensive line. Oh yeah, they got some really good receivers. Oh yeah, and that's right. The offensive line's blocking better. And we got Saquon Barkley.
Right.
Man, that's a lot coming after you. In other words, you can stop it for a while, but sooner or later you're just going, damn, I'm tired. I can't hang in there. Yeah. Because not only are the Eagles loaded, they're deep too.
Yeah.
They got reserve guys everywhere. And I didn't even say anything about the 49ers. I mean, I think Brock Purdy's played really, really well.
Agree.
McCaffrey, they're wearing him out.
As always. Yeah. Always. Yeah.
So, yes, if the 49ers I'm not trying to be overstated. This is what if they win this game, I will be really, really surprised.
Yeah. To me, I would agree with you. I think this would be a bigger upset than the Panthers taking down the Rams, honestly, in a lot of ways. And just from what I saw, it wouldn't, this one would shock me more than that one. And I think it's all because of the things that you said. And we're seeing too, Saquon, the offensive line, play better. Jalen Hurts, of course. Hey, we always want more from the offense. They're getting it done. That's all that matters, right? Vic Fangio's basically, Don Julio there, right, with their team right now. It's all about the defense and just what he can do. As long as they keep doing that, it's kind of like first 1 to 21 is going to win the game, I feel like, when I look at this team sometimes, right? It's just like if they can score 21, it's like, yeah, good luck, right? Moving the football and getting in the end zone against Vic Fangio and his defense with his guys and all the things that they can do defensively because they're disruptive. They have great speed, like you mentioned. And ultimately, too, they can get after the passer in obvious passing situations. And that's the key as we get into playoff football now.
Yeah. And, emotionally, they've been to the Super Bowl a couple of times over the last 3 years. And the emotions that they dealt with all year long, it's tiring, but it really is true. And it's like this. It doesn't matter. We wiped it clean, and here we go. Right. And now we're going to show you who we are.
Right.
And so it's –
Now we're in the season of winning ugly. It doesn't matter. Winning ugly is the best, right? And it fits perfectly in what they do. In the regular season, we could critique all we want. Ugly wins in the playoffs means you're going to the next round, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, nobody cares. Just win.
Right.
Come on, Al Davis. Just win, baby.
Just win, baby.
Yeah, this game, my last thing, it just, as soon as I started looking at it and going over stuff, I went, man, either the Eagles have been fooling us. In other words, maybe it's who we've seen all year long, which never really got us excited, or they're going to be the team to who we really think they are.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to, not only are the players refreshed and eager to play this game, the coaches, they are too. This is their time to show and shine or whatever. And I think we'll see that from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and really curious to see just the strategy for the 49ers because, the Seahawks really did just dominate him in the trenches. Of course, Christian McCaffrey, like you said, he's the bell cow. Juwan Jennings, broken ribs, he's battling through it. George Kittle, the knee injury, he's battling through it. Outside of that, it's been hard for them, to get anything going against the Seattle Seahawks. I think that those frustrations continue. It seems like we both have the Eagles.
Yep.
Concur, Doctor?
I concur.
All right. So, hey, that's the first 3 games that we have to break down here for Wildcard Weekend on the Sims Complete podcast, a part of the Bleed Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. We'll be back with the next 3 matchups. We got the Bills, Jags, Chargers, Patriots, and Texans Steelers coming up next for our breakdown on Sims Complete.